Hey guys, Clark Legacy here today, and today I am here to talk about how I like to play Alistar in the top lane. Well, how I like to build him anyways. So first of all, I need to mention this is going to be a new series, and I do plan to make more in the future. So anyways, let's get started. So when I'm playing top lane Alistar, I really need my farm. So, and I think it's pretty easy to bully an Alistar the first 3 levels around there. So what I like to do is get a flask and health potions and a ward, just because it's a ward, come on, you always need wards. So flask and a potion mainly for sustain in a lane, is try to get as much farm as I can before I back. So when I back, I either get Balmy Cinder or a Sheen. So I'm gonna be real, I've never tested the Balmy Cinder on Alistar before. I usually go for the Sheen, but while I was making this build, I actually thought about the Balmy Cinder and how much it could help Alistar's trade potential and help him farm because of the passive flame on it, and it helps me farm. I think I already said that. So back then, before the Balmy Cinder came out, I would probably rush a Sunfire Cape or not get it at all. That's what I probably would do, but I never did it. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure what I've done, but that's probably what I would do. Not get it at all. Just go straight for the Sheen, and then go from there. And then I like to get some defensive items after the Balmy Cinder. Sometimes after the Balmy Cinder and the Sheen, which are both good items on Alistar. Especially the Sheen. If you get the pulverized knockup combo, the headbutt pulverized combo, it'll be really deadly. And then if you could time it right and heal at the right time, you proc the passive on Sheen again, and then you'll be able to probably get another auto attack in and do some damage. And then Balmy Cinder, the passive on it is there, does doing magic damage, pretty good on its own. So what I like to get is some armor and magic resist for even more health. Sometimes if I'm going against heavy AP and I'm already getting heavily bullied, I would sometimes completely skip the Warden's Mail and just go straight for the Spectre's Cow. But it's probably good for against a Rise and a Maokai, even a Rumble. I might even skip the Balmy Cinder, just get the Sheen and then Spectre's Cow. Against, like what I just said, Rumble, Rise, Maokai, etc. But and then if I'm going against heavy AP, and then I sometimes skip the Balmy Cinder altogether. I wouldn't say I always do, but I sometimes do, or at least I would, since like I said, I never built Balmy Cinder, but just thinking about it sounds good already. So there's that, and then the Warden's Mail is just extra armor for the laning phase. But sometimes, depending on your laning phase, you can either get one of these, this or this, depending on the laning phase. Heavy ADs, top lane like Driven, top of my head, Driven, Gnar, I get Warden's Mail, AP, Spectre's Cow. Okay, you got boots. Oh yeah, and then I would like to upgrade my ward into the greatest stealth totem, because it pretty much you have 2 wards, stealth wards charging up, and then if you're gonna be split pushing a lot or farming top lane a lot by yourself, then this would be good because you need those vision to farm to avoid ganks. Anyways, boots. Most of the times I get Merc Treads for the tenacity, but depending on the laning phase or the team composition, I get Ninja Tabbies, or if they have a really squishy team, I get Ionian boots. Like squishy and do like no damage, which is pretty rare. But if it against, I don't know, I just think this works good against squishy teams. It works for me because you get cooldowns, especially if you get it with your Frozen Heart later. You get a total of 40% cooldown, and you pretty much be comboing them 24/7. Anyways, and the Ninja Tabby is pretty straightforward. Armor, pretty straightforward. At least that's what I get it for. So. Anyway, so later into the game, I would finish my Sheen into the Triforce. This is usually the first core item I finish on Alistar going to the top lane. Just for the damage, and also gives health and then a lot of other stats. You guys, I think you guys get the point. And then, if I get a Spectre's Cow earlier in the game, I skip this and get it later. But if I get a Warden's Mail, I'll finish this next. But if I don't finish, if I skip this, I'll most likely finish my Spectre's Cow into either a Spirit Visage or Banshee Spear by then. So, and then I go finish off the Sunfire Cape, and then maybe work towards the Frozen Heart, maybe. Extra offensive items, I usually don't build any extra offensive items on Alistar, but I actually done Bork on Alistar one time, and it actually works pretty well, but it's mainly for split pushing and chasing potential. Works pretty well actually. And then Wit's End, I just put it there because defense, stats, and attack speed. That's how I think of it on Alistar. Like extra offensive items on Alistar, I think of mainly attack speed and maybe something that gives them defense. So probably the only thing on my top of my head was Wit's End. And in Borg, I actually experiment with it on Alistar once and it actually works on it. Like you won't be heavily relying on your auto attacks, but it still works regardless. Because for chasing potential, and maybe some dueling potential to work pretty well. And then other defensive items, I get Thorn Mail sometimes. Sometimes if I don't know how to say this, if their ADs on the other team aren't really exactly auto attack based, which I can't think of anybody who isn't. Varus, I guess. Mainly casters. Maybe like Ezreal, Varus, or a heavy AD comp in general. Yeah, Thornmail, but we all know most AD champions are auto attack based, so Frozen Heart is usually a good choice to slow down their auto attack speed. But sometimes, like I said, I skip this and just go for the Thornmail instead later in the game for their heavy AD. But if it's just straight up all AD, and maybe it's support AP that doesn't do damage, I would skip either one of these two and get a Frozen Heart as well. And a Warmog's armor, pretty straightforward. Gives you massive burst in health. So, and then you have consumables. So what my final build is usually Triforce, Merc Treads, that's 2 items, Balmy Cinder, Frozen Heart, one of these 2, and then a Warmogs. That's my full build, and then of course there's the Elixir of, hold on, I forgot to add it in here. Elixir of Iron. And then Elixir of Iron, of course, to make you even more tankier. So that's how I like to play Alistar top lane. We all have different play styles, but there's also you can also build an AP tank. But I did it once, I didn't really like it. You do a lot less damage in the lane. And I think the Triforce is just better for trading potential. Like, I mean, like AP tank as in like Rod of Ages. But like I said, not a big fan of it. Like this a lot better. But you can always do whatever you want and fix things up. Like, so, I could even just go full on tank and skip the Triforce and just rush Frozen Heart or Spirit Visage. That works too. Like, do what I do on Scion, just build full tank. So, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's good too. So, thanks for watching. I'll be doing this more in the future, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys until then.